What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the fourth installment of the Yankees Avenue podcast. I'm your host, Dan Rourke, and it is Thursday, March 14th, 2019, and we're currently at 4 episodes into the Yankees Avenue podcast. Things have actually been going pretty well with it. I'm very pleased with the results that we've had. We currently sit 2 weeks away from opening day, March 28th, when the Yankees take on the Orioles at Yankee Stadium. I will be in attendance for that game, not sure yet who I'm going with. The plan was to go with Patrick Hennessy, owner of Unhinged Yankees, but he's a herb and doesn't want to miss class or some shit like that. Regardless, though, we will be there. By we, I mean at least me. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about today. One, just about half an hour ago, the news came out that the MLB has reached a new deal with MLB Players Association. Just to checklist some things off real quick. There's only going to be one trade deadline now, not two. So you're not going to have the non-waiver and the waiver trade deadline. It's just going to be one trade deadline, assuming that's going to stay July 31st. Another thing that's kind of cool, which I like a lot, is the Home Run Derby prize for the winner is going to be a $1 million check. Obviously, that gives players a little more inclined to, want to participate in the Home Run Derby. So I think that's definitely a good thing. And it's not just the winner. So, I think the second place winner gets, $500K, which is pretty dope. The next thing, which is pretty big, probably the biggest one, although it's not going to take place until 2020, there is going to be a 3-pitcher minimum. Each pitcher is going to have to face at least 3 batters. Oh, did I say 3-pitcher? I meant 3 batters, yeah. So, yeah, I haven't really read up on the other rules. This isn't too groundbreaking. It's just some cool stuff. I am for the one trade deadline. I'm for the $1 million derby bonus. I'm for the 3-batter minimum. So initial reaction when it comes to this deal, I like it a lot. Alright, so getting into the Yankees, obviously there hasn't been too much going on in the past week, breaking news-wise. But first thing I do want to get into is Aaron Judge. Obviously, Aaron Judge is having a pretty good spring. With the exception of this past game, he did go 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. But he currently sits with a 367 on base, slugging .850. He has 4 homers in 10 games. And the great thing about those 4 homers is that they're all to the opposite field. You ask anybody, even if they're not biased like me, Judge has looked great this spring. He even looks more fit somehow, not sure how, but he does. He has changed his mechanics a little bit, especially his 2-strike approach. He's ditched the leg kick, and he has just looked great. And I'm going to reiterate right now, as I do every show, that Aaron Judge is going to be the MVP of the American League in 2019. So when he does have this stupid fucking season and he wins MVP, can't say I didn't say so. And a side note, Aaron Judge is really all New York has left. Now with Porzingis gone, Odell gone, obviously Judge isn't going to go anywhere, but you just got to be grateful for him. And as for the Odell situation, we are going to address that a little bit in the comments, because I did see one question that was related to him asking about it, so we might delve into that a little bit too. Speaking of MVPs, Giancarlo Stanton is having a good spring as well. He's hitting 320, 560 slugging, 2 homers, 433 on base. It's more so he's just having a good week. He's pulled the stats up a little bit because he was hitting 220 5 days ago. But, yeah, he's hitting 320 now, the 430 on base. That's great to see. He has a couple homers. And as for expectations for Stanton in 2019, I'm not talking MVP levels. He very well could do that. He very well could replicate the 2017 season he had, which was stupid good with 59 homers. But yeah, I'm expecting big things for Stan in 2019. I think most people are. He got a bad rap for his 2018 season. I'm not sure why. The guy hit 36 bombs, 100 ribbies in 155 games. Really did pick up the Yankees for a long bit when Judge was out. And if you take out his April, he's hitting 280. He has an on-base of 316. He's slugging 540. It's a great season. Obviously, if Stanton and Judge were having poor springs, hitting 150, yeah, even if they're hitting 150, I wouldn't really care about it. But it is nice to see they are both hitting well. Anyways, so we've spoken about the players that have hit well this spring, and now to talk about somebody who's not doing so hot. Troy Tulowitzki, he's really struggling to find his footing right now. Hitting 200 as a slugging percentage of 550 at least, which that is good in 8 games. Has 2 home runs. Aaron Boone says he's not concerned, says Tulo is a little late on pitches. I did say that I could see Tulowitzki making some noise in 2019, but I'm not going to lie, I easily could see him, being abysmal. And let's not forget, the scouts did say he looks like he's in the best shape of his life. But if he's not going to be able to catch up on fastballs, that's obviously going to be a big problem, and he's not going to be productive. But, like Aaron Boone says, only time's going to tell. He just needs to get more at-bats, and he is going to be the Yankees starting shortstop heading into opening day, so he's at least going to get the chance in the regular season to prove himself anyways. But in all honesty, nobody should expect too much from Tulowitzki. He was released for a reason. We're only paying him $500,000. Worst comes to worst, we release him, all good, whatever. And a quick update on the first base situation. Greg Bird's hitting 357 with a homer and 6 ribbies. Luke Voit is hitting 280 with 2 homers and 6 ribbies. Just by the way Aaron Boone is talking, it seems like Luke Voit is going to be the guy. He was apparently even wearing a Luke Voit shirt earlier in the day. And he was mentioning how he likes Voit in the 3-4 hole, and that could carry into the season. So, it sounds like this job is probably going to be Voit's, but you can't ignore the fact that Bird has a 1042 OPS this spring. Alright, so we're going to transition to the question side of things. Obviously, I get the questions via Instagram. Make sure you follow at Yankees Avenue and at NYY Home Runs. That's where I get the questions from. Anyways, Fabrith Lord asks, realistic prediction for Aaron Judge next year. Obviously, I have him winning MVP, so there's that. A1_Brooklyn asks, from 1 to 10, what do you think the chances the Yankees are winning it all next year? An 8 out of 10. Philip Dragovich asks, why did the Giants trade OBJ? Honestly, I'm not really sure if they're trying to gather picks to move up in the draft. I don't know why they didn't just trade Odell straight up, but it's clear that the Giants are going in a direction of like rebuilding. So, and I'm a Jets fan. I'm not a Giants fan. They got Le'Veon Bell yesterday, so that was pretty hype. And this is going to be the first football season I'm really looking forward to, like, in a long while. Cam11 Cooley asked a dope question. Greatest experience I've ever had at the stadium. Probably the Wildcard game, Judge's 2-run shot. I was there with Pat last year, and that was fucking hype. That was definitely by far the coolest moment I've ever had at Yankee Stadium. TJL0WE asks, do you think the Yankees should pursue Chris Sale in free agency? That's down the line, and I'll be honest, I don't see the Yankees giving Chris Sale a long-term deal. I wouldn't give him a long-term deal with that elbow. He's a scrawny bitch that can't last a full season. The Box Turtle 57 asks, will Clint Frazier have a good year? Like I said, I don't like to put too much stock into spring training, but he has not looked good this spring. If he can stay healthy and he gets the opportunity, yeah, I think he can definitely produce. It's just a matter if he can stay healthy, and that's a big if. Speaking of health, JMoney19 asks, where's Montgomery? Montgomery, I think, is expected to throw off flat ground from mound distance soon. He's probably going to be back sometime in June or July, and that'll be a big boost. I've said that for a while. I'm pumped to get Montgomery back. Mini_Jovinus asks, how is Aaron Hicks feeling? He got a cortisone shot in his back today. He's not too concerned. He's been very nonchalant about it. Obviously, you don't want to see any health issues. Obviously, a back injury. And Hicks, and I don't like to throw in the term injury prone a lot, but Hicks kind of is an injury prone guy. But as of now, it seems like he's going to be ready for opening day. So there's that. Take that as you will. 88_NY asks, Bird has been showing up this spring. Does he win the job opening day because of his glove? That is a good factor for Bird. He obviously does have the upside defensively. I feel like with Bird, he hasn't blown anybody out of the water enough. Yeah, he is hitting 357 with a homer and 6 ribbies, which is good, don't get me wrong. But if he was hitting like 450 with like 4 or 5 homers, he probably would have taken the job. But as of right now, Voit and Bird, they're pretty much tied. And Voit had the leg up going into spring training, so I don't think Bird's glove is going to be enough to push him over the edge to get the job. But yeah, it's definitely a factor. Dan Picano asks, are you worried about Gary's slow spring? Not necessarily. He hits the balls hard. His batting average is up to like 220 now. Like I said, I'm not worried about Gary. I've never been worried about Gary. I don't think anybody should be worried about Gary, so don't worry about it. Hunter Quinn asks, is Star Wars the best thing to be created if the Yankees didn't exist? Honestly, yeah, probably. Justin_Alonso30 asks, when do you think Florial is going to be called up, barring any injuries? I think its ETA is probably late 2020, but probably 2021. Will Sedella says Judge is a walking strikeout. Okay, Willie. Willie's a high school buddy. Goldberg.Asher asks, will they break 300 home runs? No, I don't think so. I don't care. I've said that for a while. I don't care. I don't care if they hit 200 home runs or 100 home runs. Doesn't matter. Just win the AL East. Matt_._ asks, who wins the first base battle in your opinion? Yeah, I'm going to say Voit. Sean.Curvin asks, Bird of Voit, yeah, Voit. Damn NNJAF asks, with spring training is almost over, what will the rotation look like to start the year? Right now, Tanaka was, of course, announced as the Yankees opening day starter, so it's probably going to be Tanaka, Paxton, Happ, Loaiziga, and Domingo Germán. Yankees fans.only asks, how do you get the MP4 for all the home runs? I have an app on my phone, and I have an app on my computer. Matt Alexander 4 asks, are you a Greg Bird or a Luke Voit guy? Alright, so this is kind of a different question. Who am I for? I'm pulling for Greg Bird. I don't know why. I actually think Luke Voit has earned it more than Bird. I'm pulling for the homegrown guy. I do like Bird a lot. I want him to succeed in the Yankee uniform. M.Lutz asks, what do you think the Yankees will do with a rotation in order to make up for CC and Severino being injured? Well, we just went over this kind of, but I think they're probably just going to go with Loaiziga, their 4 starter, and Domingo Germán, their 5. I wish they would sign Gio Gonzalez for a few $1 million. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And that goes into Nathan.Alexander722's question. Any chance the Yankees add starting pitching depth via free agency? It doesn't sound like it, unfortunately. Jake Grogans asks, why did everyone forget about Jordan Montgomery? Could he be a factor down the stretch? Yeah, that's what I was saying before, big time. J-Mon, he was pretty damn good in his rookie year. Had like a 3.88 ERA, led all rookie stats for pitchers. I'm definitely pumped to get Montgomery back this season. Alright, Antonio Reconquistador asks, what do you think happens to Greg Bird and Gary Sanchez if they don't rebound? What happens to Gary Sanchez? It depends what you mean by rebound. If he hits 186 again, then there probably might be like a franchise position altering change, possibly. But I'm sure he'd probably get another chance. As for Greg Bird, this is definitely Bird's last shot. He's not going to be getting another chance after this if he fails again. And his other part of his question was, what do you think happens to Voit if the Yankees go with Bird and he rebounds accordingly? There'll be an injury or something to give Voit or Bird the opportunity who doesn't get the job. Pretty much they're one Giancarlo Stanton injury away or an outfield injury away from Voit being just the DH or whoever doesn't get the job being the DH. So that's that. All right, last question of the day. Emmanuel Mendez asks, should the Yankees start the season with Kyle Higashioka as their backup catcher? I've heard that he has better defensive peripherals than Romine. According to the defensive stats, I don't know the comparisons between the two, but all I know is the Yankees are not going to be altering their backup catcher position. They love Romine. They think Romine has a great relationship with the pitchers, receives well, did have a nice year for a backup catcher last year, I will admit that, and I haven't been the biggest Romine guy, but Gary Sanchez is going to be starting, and Austin Romine will be the backup. And possibly for the foreseeable future. I could totally see them signing him to an extension. Alright, so that's going to be a wrap on the 4th episode of the Yankees Avenue podcast. Real quick, don't forget to use code NYYHR for $20 off your SeatGeek order. Make sure you go and follow at Yankees Avenue and at NYY Home Runs on Instagram. And make sure you follow at Dan Allen Rourke on Instagram and Twitter. We only got 2 more weeks left until MLB opening day. And a little less than that until MLB Show 19 comes out. Alright, so stay tuned for next week's episode of the Yankees Avenue podcast every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see you then.
Late swing, but he's still able to get a lot of this one out toward deep right field. Gone!
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine. Sunny day dreams and we up now. Vodka lemonade, I serve it up, it goes down. 75 degrees in a dope sound. All you need to live fine, to live fine. A little sunshine cause she need it. A dose of rainfall in the evening. The waves crash down and we feel them. Say here's to the nights we steal them. And I be running cause I figured out, the more I slow down, the less I get out. And if we fall, let's be strong now. Moving along, we don't mind, we don't mind. All the good comes in waves. I buy my time by the ocean. And at night, I'm awake to feel the wake of your motion. And I want something that's feeling alright. Loose cannon, but still it won't fight. No need to leave, spend our whole lives. Another day in paradise. I'll be gone till November. Going through the letters that I send her. And thinking about the moment that I met her. Well, I'll be back in due time, in due time. Touchdown, throw off my own 2 shoes. Still the same city I've been used to. And all the reckless things that we do keep us young, they're good signs, they're good signs. Take a little more if you need it. Voices of the night won't mislead it. The tide pulls me in, but it takes slow. Here's to the nights we let go. And I'm hoping that they figure out it's all about the scenery along the route. No fears and no problems. These moments are so kind, they're so kind. All the good comes in waves. I buy my time by the ocean. And at night, I'm awake to feel the wake of your motion. And I want something that's feeling alright. Loose cannon, but still it won't fight. No need to leave, spend our whole lives. Another day in paradise. I don't need what I've sold. I just need something good. And I know when we're old, we'll look back and say some mistakes we made, they made us who we are. These games we played, they got us really far. That shit to most won't ever mean a thing, but it got us here, so I hold on. All the good comes in waves. I buy my time by the ocean. And at night, I'm awake to feel the wake of your motion. And I want something that